Johnson, the conversation on the radio a moment ago.
Remember, this is a long race, 200 laps. 200 laps, 400 miles. So we got a lot of time to recover from anything that may creep up on us. You guys have been doing a great job. Keep making me proud every week. I really appreciate it. I'd like to say hello to all the Lowe's employee owners. Thank you for all your dedication, support, and keep watching. It's getting ready to get real exciting. Jimmy, another thing, don't forget, you've got an in-car camera. It's important.
That probably means watch your waves.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. They're racing at Michigan on TNT. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, didn't I say 4 wide? Didn't take long. Tell you what, there's a couple of loose race cars there. I saw Jeff Burton got loose. I'm not sure if 48 hit the wall or not, but he was loose. Yeah, there's smoke coming out of 48 at Jimmy Johnson.
Be ready, guys. Be ready.
Championship leader with early problems. Ryan Newman from 4th to 1st on the opening lap.
I was just talking about it. Boy, that car just took off up the racetrack. I'm not sure if he had something break or...
Right front flat.
There you go.
Here's the onboard camera they were talking about.
Yep. Yeah, normally a car doesn't take off towards the wall like that unless you have a problem. So
In fuel here, guys. Right side's only in fuel.
Heading for pit road, we stay under green, we go to Allen.
It's going to be a change of right side tires only, and they'll top the fuel off. Chad Canal's telling his team to watch the right front fender. He's telling Jimmy to slow down as he comes down pit road so that carcass of that flat tire doesn't come off and rip the fender off that car. We've seen this team make late rallies from early problems in races many times this year. Here comes another one today they'll have to try and pull off.
I had a tire problem at the Brickyard, and that kind of worked out for him.
Sure did. Made an amazing recovery from that. Looked like Elliott Sadler got very close to the wall that time out of 4.
Yeah, Sadler was running pretty hard against Kenseth there. All of a sudden, he's going to lose 2 or 3 spots this lap.
Newman leads down the backstretch as Johnson heads off of pit road. And we know it's only 4 laps in, but right now Matt Kenseth has taken the championship lead away from Jimmy Johnson. Kenseth running second, Greg Biffle third. Another car has hit the wall. Robbie Gordon. Off the strong weekend at Watkins Glen. And Jimmy Johnson is currently scored 2 laps down. We'll wait for the scoring to reset, but I'm certain he'll be the lucky dog when it comes around. Wait for the field to make a lap under caution.
He's got 2 flat tires. I'm not sure if that's from holding the brakes down.
Word is that Robbie Gordon did have a tire going down, reported a tire going down. Right rear tire, the issue for Robbie Gordon. He heads to pit road. Jimmy Johnson is the lucky dog. We'll find out how lucky as the afternoon wins. And Biffle and Edwards both need strong days here at Michigan and the next 3 weeks if they hope to make the chase.
There goes Jimmy Johnson. Gonna get back on the lead lap, I think, now. Get one of the lucky dogs back.
The top 19 cars stayed on the racetrack. Sterling Marlin in 20th was the first to pit, and he had plenty of company. And we'll point out right now and remind you once again that fuel mileage can be a huge factor here at Michigan. As we get ready for the restart here at Michigan, Coke invites you to drink it down and start it up.
Taking the high side over the 42. Casey Mears. Been pretty good on the start. He got a really good start. Been good on the restarts, too.
While you watch this battle, we can tell you Jimmie Johnson is scored on the lead lap, and in 2006 only has 2 finishes outside the top 20. He has finished in the lead lap in 21 of the 22 races. The only one he didn't, Bristol, he has no DNFs this season. That team can battle back from almost anything.
Kenseth taking a look, and he's got his teammate behind him with a little bit of draft and help. Kenseth looks like he's got him cleared. Takes the lead, but Newman's coming back on the outside. No. Matt's going to hang on.
An update on our pole sitter from Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, Bill, you enter the corners at this racetrack at such a high rate of speed that when the car's not handling going into the corner, it's really uncomfortable for the driver. Jeff Burton's car described as loose entering the corner. That means the back end wants to slide out from under him when he's going into these corners at some 200 miles an hour.
You see the miles per hour. This is down the front stretch. Turn 1, the fastest corner here.
You carry so much speed into these corners, and you're actually, when you turn the car down into the turn, you're still flat on the throttle. So you've got to have the car underneath you in order to tug that steering wheel at 200 miles per hour. So you do want the car feeling really secure when you get into the corners.
Kevin Harvick, last week's winner inside of Biffle. Look back in the field.
Cleaver and
40 car of David Stremme.
Stremme in trouble. Todd Cleaver had a little damage there as well. Not as much as that car.
The right front a bit on the wall.
Our second caution.
See David right in the middle. There's Cleaver right in front of him. Cleaver may get run into. It looks like Bobby Labonte ran into Cleaver. I don't know who was that on the outside that he ran into.
The 49.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte just pushed up the racetrack into those guys and kind of set things off.
We can go on board with Stremme.
Give me clear high with you.
Watch the 43 car. Boom.
With you.
That's just a chain reaction. Wrong place at the wrong time sometimes.
Yeah, we got a piece of that there, boys.
Robbie Gordon is a lucky dog. You know, when you talked about this track is wide and is flat and is fun to drive, but sometimes it's just not wide enough, is it?
Yeah, when you get three abreast or 4 abreast and you lose the air on your car, you're going to slide into somebody. And that's what we saw there with Bobby Labonte in the 43 car.
Has been a learning experience in 2006 for David Stremme. He sits on pit road while the crew works on his car. Now, half the field has already been to pit road. The question is, are the leaders content? Some are, most aren't. With just 12 laps left, a number of drivers coming down pit road, including our outside pole sitter, Elliott Sadler. Dave.
And Elliott Sadler's car wasn't too bad. It was kind of coming around to him, but they're going to go ahead and make a chassis and air pressure adjustment. The complaint was it was a little bit too loose when he stepped on the gas, and you need to do that a lot here at Michigan. Quick stop, Alan.
And Jeff Gordon has come in. They're going to make some adjustments on his car to correct the handling ills, which is that the car doesn't want to cut in the middle of the turns, and then once it does grab a hold of the racetrack and turn, it turns too hard, and the back end wants to slide out. So Steve Letarte called Jeff in, and they've made some changes there.
A lot of drivers unhappy with their car here early in the GFS Marketplace 400. Matt Kent 1080, the world's most powerful HD experience. Back to green, top 7 cars did not stop. Jimmie Johnson also stayed out. He has now scored 19th. This is going to be a fun day for keeping score up here.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth's got a really good restart there. We got a fight for second. Harvick underneath Newman. Side by side. And here's where you need some draft and help. It depends on where the cars are behind you or behind the other guy. And you can see Biffle comes up, and it just helps the 12 car a little bit.
It's Kyle Busch in the 5, and pole sitter Jeff Burton behind him in that orange Singular 31 car.
Ow! Now, Harvick didn't get in line, which he didn't. These guys are all going to line up on the outside of him, and that's going to hurt him. He's out of the draft, so to speak.
Kenseth, Newman, Harvick, Biffle, Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch did not pit. Pit road update from Marty.
Ryan Newman just loves this racetrack, guys. You can tell because he's running all over this racetrack. He's in the high line right now, and yesterday in practice, they weren't very good, and they've made a lot of changes to the car this morning, trying to make it a little bit better. Clearly, they have. Dave?
For Kevin Harvick, as he looks at his season, he commented this week in the press that his weakest tracks are the Michigan International Speedway and the California Speedway, leading to the chase. Looks like he's got Michigan figured out. California, much the same configuration.
Boy, Jeff Burton must not like his car at all.
He's definitely having some issues with that thing. He just pulled out of line and just said, hey, and I would think he's loose, because normally when you're in traffic and the car is loose, you want to get away from these other cars. Is that what he's saying, Alan?
No, well, he just called in. Well, that's the problem, yes. But he also just called in on the radio, said he thinks they might have broken a valve or something.
Okay.
Something wrong under the hood of Jeff Burton's car.
And it looks like Biffle's feeling out his car as well on that 16 ride. Junior on the outside there.
Yeah, Jeff Burton's down on the apron now, and probably expect to see him hit pit lane, and man, they're racing all over the place.
Kenseth, Harvick, Newman. A lot has happened here early in the race.
On board Dale Jr. all over the back of Kyle Busch's car. Junior's running the 6th right now.
We watch Earnhardt. The 31 is on pit road, Alan.
Yeah, Jeff called in, said he was going to shut it down. They were going to bring it down pit road, have a look at it. You'll see the hood go up on this car, and the Richard Childress team will try and see if it's something they can fix. Although Jeff Burton is 4th in the championship, he does not believe his place in the chase is safe going into these 4 races. They do not want to have a DNF, a race where they do not finish here today. They're continuing to look under their hood, and I'll get your report as soon as they have a few more details.
Thanks, Alan.
Dale Jr. picked up that spot from Kyle Busch, and he's running that high line we talked about. He's already up top. His car gets a great run off the corners, and here comes Carl Edwards in the 99 underneath. He's going to take a spot away from Kyle Busch.
And somebody finally has something for Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick off the win at the Glen. Challenging, then dropping back a little bit. '31 car is being pushed up pit road and back toward the garage. Jeff Burton came in here 4th in the championship standings. He knows he's not safe in the race to the chase, and almost no one is.
Because no one is. The top 2 guys, you know, they're just not saying it because they're superstitious. But the rest of us, you know, it's close, man. And one slip up, and you're right in the middle of being in a position where you got to really fight. So with 4 races left, there's no safety factor. There's just not. So people in this sport are realistic. They understand things can happen quickly, and anybody thinks they're in, they're mistaken.
Jeff is right. And because I'm telling you what, like he said, I mean, one mistake, which, you know, whether it's a mistake, one piece of bad luck just dropped them a bunch of spots. And listen, that's all these guys are thinking about right now, is being able to go to Richmond and have some kind of cushion, you know, that they don't have to sweat it out every single lap at Richmond. So, I mean, it is, if any race, this thing can go either way. And a good race for somebody like Casey Kane right now, you know, could put him into the chase.
Exactly right. And you think about the Burton situation, 15th or better in the finishing order in the last 16 races. His last DNF came last October at Talladega. And that shows not only how well that team is run, but how well the Childress organization is doing. And right now, that other Childress car that won last week with Harvick, still in second with Earnhardt Jr. on his bumper.
Tell you what, Junior's car is good right now. He's getting a really good bite off the top of the racetrack. You see him roll here, but watch when he gets off the corner. He gets a head of steam on. Oh! Harvick loses it. Just sideways in turn 4. Yeah.
Hold the brake.
Car just got loose. He was underneath the guy, and you're turning the wheel hard to the left, and your car's free anyway, and he just got away from him.
Fix the balance, guys.
A lot of rain here yesterday. Make sure Harvick can get out of that grass.
Got a lot of damage to that left front. They're going to have to do some work on that because that's going to make a big difference aerodynamically here at Michigan. You've got to have that right. See, he's underneath the 17 car, and you're turning the wheel, and you're on the gas. You're trying to get on the gas as hard as you can, and you're still turning the wheel, and the rear just comes around on you. And you'll see that a lot here. I mean, this is just one of those places where you're on the edge all the time anyway. Fortunately, he didn't hit the wall, but he did do some damage there to the left front when he hit that grass.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, take a ride with Junior. You see him way down on the bottom there. And you're pinching the car right there at that point of the racetrack. But you're trying to make a pass, so you're in the gas. The car just broke loose. And we saw a lot of cars yesterday in the Busch race that were loose. And normally this racetrack gets tight. Your car gets tight here, but there was a lot more cars that were loose yesterday than normal, I think, for this race.
Well, pit road is going to be extremely busy now, and this will be the first stop for some of the front runners. Kenseth leads the parade to pit road. Marty.
Bill Matt Kenseth, your leader on the top of the screen. The 17 car said the car was just a little too loose, lacking some rear grip off the exit of the corners. Half pound of the right rear tire. That's the only adjustment. He loved it at the beginning of the run. Dave?
Middle of your screen, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just a tick tight, and he said in a very couth tone, I would appreciate just a slight air pressure adjustment. 4 tires. Alan.
Carl Edwards started 20th, moved all the way up into the top 5. They're going to make a wedge adjustment, the crossweight in the car, and an air pressure adjustment on the left side tires, just looking for more overall grip onto the racetrack.
And you see the drag race off of pit road, but that 17 pit crew is pretty strong. Looks like Matt Kenseth wins the race off pit road. The Nextel race off of pit road. Nextel celebrating speed, teamwork, and getting things done instantly. The Robbie Reiser-led crew gets the former Nextel Cup Series champion off of pit road first at Michigan. Jeff Gordon, Joe Nemechek, Casey Mears, Dave Blaney, Scott Riggs, and Paul Menard did not stop. The top 7 cars, other cars using various strategy on pit road. David Stremme was the lucky dog.
See Casey Mears down on the bottom. Joe Nemechek didn't really get a good restart there. He kind of bogged down a little bit. Casey Mears tried to get underneath him, make that pass, but he hasn't been able to do it yet.
We can tell you that Todd Cleaver is out of the race and that Jeff Burton's car has been officially retired from the race. Let's watch this race and check with Matt in the garage.
Richard Childerson, the engine guys, just looked over your engine, Jeff. Any idea exactly what broke?
I don't really know, but I didn't think we'd get it back out. That's a shame. Our engine guys have done a great job, and that reliability has been incredible. And then today it got us. You know, it gets everybody all the time, and today was our turn. But we won't use this as an excuse. We have 3 races to get our business done, and we're going to go get it done.
Almost like a football coach, you pulled all your guys together in a huddle. What did you tell them?
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that this was a good race team, and you know, this happens to everybody, and today was our turn, and you know, we're not going to get down about this. This is nobody's fault. We all do this together. I wreck race cars. We break engines. We do stuff from time to time, and we'll just keep fighting, and you know, we'll come back and try to win some races.
Started the day top 5 in the championship standings, 3 to go until that cutoff race, Bill, trying to keep their heads high and their minds focused on the points and not let this trouble get them down.
And Matt already back to 6th, and with some really hungry drivers behind him in that race to the chase. McMurray leads, Jeff Gordon 2nd. Kyle Busch has moved up to that 3rd spot. And there's some racy stuff back there And Earnhardt going low. He's supposed to run high on this.
Well, you hear a lot of these guys talk. You got to go where they're not. These guys in front of them have been running the high line. So I think Junior right now has got 4 fresh tires on it, so he could pretty much probably run wherever he wants to right now. But once he gets some laps on these tires, he'll move back high. Dave?
You are right, Wally. Talked to his crew this morning, and I asked him if he could ever run the low line. He said only on 4 fresh tires, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's making some ground up here. I mean, there's a lot of those guys hitting stops, so he's making some spots up. And
teammates.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch in the 5 on the bumper of Jeff Gordon in the 24. Here's our Craftsman pit summary, and again, through the 3 caution periods, different teams using different strategies. You can see Kenseth came out 8th. Earnhardt Jr. went in 2nd, came out 12th. And Kurt Busch lost spots again. The top 7 drivers did not pit under that most recent caution. And you will see this throughout the day. Various strategies by different teams. The 5 under the 24 for position. Update from Alan.
Yeah, Kyle Busch actually picked up a couple spots on that last pit stop, Bill. It got him off pit road 2nd, restarted 9th. You've just seen him take a position from Jeff Gordon. It puts him up to 2nd place. Funny he just passed Jeff Gordon because Gordon's one of the guys who taught him a lesson about where to run on this racetrack. This is Kyle Busch a few minutes ago.
What do you want me to do? It's loose up top, good on the bottom. I know I'm going to stay on the bottom for now, but you want to run up there or no? Yeah, just what you got to do. Still early. It should come to you a little bit. No, I'm asking if you want to set it up to run up there. I know Jeff always says it'll go up there for the beginning, but by the end you're back to the bottom. Yeah, 10-4, that's what I'm talking about. Just kind of let it come to you a little bit.
That's Alan Gustafson, the crew chief, talking to his driver, Kyle Busch, about where to run on this big, wide racetrack. Part of what you do is due to how you set the car up to handle the different lanes on this speedway.
Those teams work together as much as you can, getting ready for the race, and then when you can actually when the race is going on as much as possible.
Yeah, and there is so much racetrack to work with here, and it is so big. There's so many lines. You're trying to figure out what the best line, what looks like the best line. And here goes Kyle Busch for the lead.
McMurray moved over.
Yep, gonna take it.
And Jeff Gordon's thinking about going along for the ride. This 24 team has run better this year, but they continue to struggle on certain tracks, and that's something that Jeff Gordon and his team have been concentrating on here in 2006.
It's a thing that we probably focused on the most, between that and our road course. I mean, we've been pretty good on short tracks in the past, but maybe we focus a little bit more on places like Phoenix that are a little bit flatter, not quite a short track, but the mile and a half, Texas, Kansas, Chicago, and even here at Michigan, this 2-mile track, California, those are tracks that we've put a lot of effort into, and we've really seen the results come from it.
And they really need a good result in this race to continue their pursuit of a spot in that race to the chase. More on the 24 from Alan.
Well, Bill, they're hoping that they have the right piece of machinery underneath their driver for this race. This is the car that they won the race at Chicagoland Speedway with back in early July. We know how strong it was that day. Jeff Gordon came into this race on the bubble for the championship, 9th in points, and they did not pit under that last caution. So these guys he's running between now have fresher tires than he does. He's hanging in there very nicely.
Guy that does is flying right now. That red Budweiser car is coming in a hurry. Junior has passed 2 cars that last lap, up to 3rd spot right now, working that high line, and it's working for him because he's getting a good run off these corners. That's where he's making up all the time on these cars is off the corner. You see how fast you get off the corner, gives you more straightaway speed, and now he's right on Gordon's tail. I mean, last lap he was 8-9 car lengths behind the 24.
That's his house right there where he's running right there, man. He loves that groove.
And you can't stop him. I mean, Gordon's not even going to try. I mean, when you look up in the mirror and you see a guy that's got that much momentum and coming, you just got to let him have it.
Up high heading into 3 and 4. Got Gordon that lap.
These 2 guys had a heck of a battle here in June. 24 in the 8. Yep. There we go. Didn't think it was going to take long.
Look at the fans. Wasn't the same reaction they had yesterday at the end of the race, but all those fans wearing red cheering for the Great 8. And Gordon's going to climb into second in front of Kyle Busch. Dale Earnhardt Jr. went to victory lane here yesterday. A little controversy surrounding that. But on a Sunday afternoon at Michigan, he's running out front looking for the weekend sweep.
Catch Jeff Gordon and pick up that third spot. Edwards has never finished outside the top 10 in the Nextel Cup race here at Michigan. Kyle Busch, after that quick run from, he's just bounced off the wall.
Yeah, they were talking about some smoke coming from that car possibly.
And the caution is out. And Kyle Busch, another driver in the top 10 in the championship standings, having an issue here in the first 41 laps. Alan?
Bill, the lap before, Kyle had called in on the radio, said he had bounced off the wall off of turn number 4, or in between 3 and 4, said they had a tire rub. The spotter, Jeff Dickerson, called that down. Then that happened before he even came all the way back around.
And now he tries to limp back to pit road, Alan.
Yeah, and the right front fender is already destroyed.
We'll take a look. Watch the right-hand side of your screen as we go to the replay.
Yeah, that definitely had a tire go down right there. And that was the second hit, I presume.
David Stremme is the lucky dog. Kyle Busch, very unlucky, right to the garage. So let's see. Jimmy Johnson had the early issue. He's come back to get on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth has been strong from the start. Kevin Harvick had the problem coming off of 4. Jeff Burton is out of the race. And Kyle Busch in the garage now after contact with the wall. And now let's see what happens.
Be surprised if everybody doesn't come in.
I think you're right. Here they come. Earnhardt Jr., the race leader, leads the field to pit road, and that will be a very busy place. Start with Matt.
Bill, the Dodge boys jump over the wall and go to work on Casey Kane's Dodge. Big Tank Probus, the gas man, already makes the chassis adjustment. Casey says the car is good on entry. Still too tight, though, trying to improve that. Marty?
That Casey Pierce running 5th. This car is tight in the middle of the corner. They put a ½ pound in the right rear tire to fix that. Loose coming off the corner, lacks a little rear grip, and they make a track bar adjustment to fix that. Dave?
Marty, the 8 crew would like to win the race off pit road. Had a little trouble last time, lost some spots. This time, 4 tires, no changes, gone. Alan?
Those left side tires coming off Jeff Gordon's car have been on there since the race started. A 4-tire change for Gordon and a very good pit stop by his crew.
So you see them file off of pit road. And they go to work on the car of Carl Edwards. Tracy Duncan with the crew cam. BP, got it on the Jackman this week. Good job, buddy.
Jeff Gordon got a pretty good restart, and Carl Edwards left it open.
Gordon to the lead, and here are Edwards and Earnhardt together. And Edwards looked like he slipped a little there.
I'm not going there.
You watching this, Alan?
Hey, Wally.
Yeah.
You may not be going there, but Bobby Hudson, Carl's spotter, did. Before the restart, he told him, hey, you know who's third in line? Remember what happened yesterday, red marks and all that? Carl said nothing in response.
Yeah. Probably a good move.
Junior down low. Now drifts up a little bit. Got Kurt Busch right behind him. Junior gets the position, and now he's going to challenge Gordon for the lead off of 2 and down the backstretch.
Now, don't forget, Junior's car is really good on the restart on new tires. So he's got 4 or 5 laps where he can pretty much run wherever he wants, and his car is really good. Then after that, then he starts moving that high groove. But he's trying to force the issue, trying to make something work early here.
Oh! Slipped just a little, coming off a 4. To catch his breath, try and jump back in line. That's Greg Biffle in the 16. 2-time winner here at Michigan. And now Carl Edwards will race Gordon for the lead. This is the track where Carl made his debut back in 2004. Has never finished out of the top 10 here.
Back to the top. He's a little bit more comfortable up there. I think he regroups, and like Bill said, he's got a second breath going back after him.
Maybe feeling if there was anything with his tires.
A lot of times when you slip like that, a lot of times it happens on a restart. You don't have your tire completely, the pressure's up and the temperature's up. So, but you're not sure. You're not sure if you have a tire going down or if it was just that. So you'll take a lap or two to ride it out just to make sure that it isn't a tire going down.
Edwards sniffing the lead.
Wow, that's tough to pass down there. Tough to pull that pass off on the low side, but
ask Harvick.
Carl's gonna do it though.
He got his 5 bonus points for leading a lap.
That's just where you get loose, right here. When you're in the corner underneath somebody, you're really close to that other car. Uh-oh. Gilliland got some smoke coming out the right rear. I'm not sure if he didn't tag the wall. Yes, he did.
Right front, right there.
Lost a car in practice here earlier in the weekend. Now he's been in the wall. The caution is out for debris. This will be our 5th caution period of the day. And weren't we talking about long green flag runs here?
That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. This is on board with Stremme.
It looks like the right rear started smoking. I wasn't sure if it was the right front or right rear, but the car started smoking, so it looked like maybe he had a tire going down, Dave.
Well, not sure on that, Wally, but they have been playing around with that car a lot. And remember, David is a raw rookie in a Nextel Cup car, and as you mentioned, crashed a car in practice. They just made a big change with spring rubbers and track bar adjustments. They were really trying to find the handle for David.
Yeah, but there was smoke coming out of the car before he hit the wall, so something did break or something let go before he hit the wall, because there's definitely smoke pouring off it.
And that tire just let go. It did even more damage to the car. So a tough start for him with Robert Yates Racing, but he's got veteran crew chief Todd Parrott calling the signals for him, and they decided they're going to let David run all 14 races remaining this season, get them all in, and not worry about the Rookie of the Year honors next season. They want to get him seat time, get him as much experience as possible, and start fresh and hopefully strong in 2007 in the Daytona 500. So the M&M's guys go to work on that Ford Fusion on pit road. Pit road will be open this time. Most of the guys were just there.
Just set it off.
I wouldn't think too many guys are going to come in on this deal.
Some guys in the back may top off with fuel. We'll keep an eye on that. Casey Mears is the first guy to dive onto pit road. We'll update the running order when we come back to Michigan. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT. And Kurt did lead the last lap in that 2 car, so he got his 5 bonus points, but now he's got Casey Kane on his bumper. And we talked about in the Bank of America Countdown to Green how close the championship standings are. Right now, Jeff Gordon is 6th. And this is why fans come to Michigan, right here. So
yeah, there's about 8 different lines being used in that corner. Everybody will try to get in, you know, single file down the straightaway, because like I said, the draft does mean something more. As soon as they get to the corner, everybody just pans out. Guys shoot up the racetrack, in the middle, down on the bottom. try to make the pass, then they get back on the straightaway, and they try to get back in single file, just because, like I said, that draft really does help you pass cars here.
Fun to watch, huh, Alan?
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking, I'm sure, if you're one of the guys that works on these cars. Jimmy Johnson is back in the middle of all this because they chose to do on that last caution the opposite of what everyone else did. Since most of the front runners stayed out, they came down pit road, made a 4-tire change, a chassis adjustment, filled up the fuel. They restarted back in 28th place. You see he's picked up now 8 spots since then, but they're hoping that another quick caution will happen. Everyone else will pit, and they'll be out in front of this field with fairly comparable laps on their tires.
And that's a chess match that will continue all the way to the checkered flag today.
Greg Biffle trying to take a spot away from Kurt Busch. He's on the high side. Looks like he's going to do it. Right now, it looks like the high side. The guys that run on the high side are very fast.
We watch this and check with Matt.
And Todd Parrott and the M&M guys looking over the right front. David, what happened?
I just blew a right front tire coming off turn 4 there. We fought loose all day. Track just got greasy and car was a little loose, so we were just working on that, trying to get it fixed, but not quite the day we were looking for out of the M&M Star Ford Fusion. But we'll get it fixed. You know what I mean? We're learning. Just way too loose out there, but there must be a lot of stuff out there. Todd Parrott just told me on the replay you could see the right front smoking before we hit, and it just went down. Nothing you can do at that point.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Bill, one thing Jeff Burton said also moments before I spoke with him was he said the track is just so slick. He thinks that's one reason why a lot of guys you saw earlier in the race were having some sensitivity issues with their cars kind of being real darty.
Well, the racetrack has been, you know, there's been no sunshine on this racetrack all weekend, and hang on, Kurt. The hotter this racetrack gets, the slicker it gets. You lose grip.
Caution's out, caution's out, caution's out.
Caution for debris on the front stretch.
Debris on the track.
Boy, caution number 6.
Who was saying this thing goes green along?
I don't know, some announcer guy.
I don't know what that is rolling around there,
but I wouldn't want
somebody's going to run over it. Oh.
Boy, when you look at Kurt Busch's car, and even though he's running 6th, you know, is he going to come in and try and work on that, or is he going to try and drive through it? Because it doesn't look like it's handling very well. He's lost, had the lead just a couple of laps ago.
I guess if it's bad enough, I mean, obviously, yeah, if the car's really not handling it's bad enough, you've got to make that call, whether, you know, go ahead and get it fixed now.
And this is the strategy that Alan was telling us Jimmy Johnson was hoping for.
Yeah.
That the caution would come out and that the front runners will come to pit road. The caution may have come too soon. We'll see as they come off of turn 4.
You want to just leave it like it is? You want to take a half pound out of the right front and drop the track bar around?
Sounds like they're coming.
We need to do something to the right rear to calm it down a little bit this run.
I think everybody's going to come on this one.
If they split, come on.
Well, Carl Edwards and Jeff Gordon stay out, and so does Casey Kane.
But everybody else came.
Yep. Well, now we'll have 3 different strategies at work. Marty.
Well, Bill, Kurt Busch really wanted to come to pit road. He said, I cannot race these guys. My car is way too loose getting into the corner. I just have no rear grip on this thing. They're going to go down 1 round on the track bar, trying to help them out a little bit, trying to be able to keep up with that 9 and those guys who are in front of them, and he'll have these 4 fresh tires. Two tires, rather, Dave.
Greg Biffle already gone. 2 right side tires, chassis adjustment for a tight race car.
And Jimmy Johnson also using this opportunity to pit. You see him there, the first car on the right-hand side of your screen, the Lowe's Chevrolet. So they continue to work on that car after he had troubles on the opening lap.
He's going to take 4.
Well, we said it'd be a chess match, and it certainly is right now. Carl Edwards and Jeff
takes the lead. Casey Kane with a pretty good run off of turn 2. He's going to take a look underneath Gordon. Not close enough. Kevin Harvick.
Harvick has come back from that spin earlier in the race.
It looks like they did fix that valence down there on the left front. You see the new metal down there on the 29 car.
We'll get Burns to check on that for us. Oh, Dave already knows.
In the these guys are good category, they actually had 2 fixes for that car. One was the big one we showed you on camera. There was a smaller one that they already got inside that left front fender that did the trick. The car was fast, nothing in the way, so they kept the big one off.
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson also pitted under that last caution, currently runs 29th. Harvick and Gordon. This is for second behind Edwards.
He was pretty loose down there. That's what got him in trouble earlier. He was trying to make that pass on the bottom.
Oh, look at Carl go. There's Denny Hamlin in that 11 car with Casey Mears right behind him. Right now, Denny Hamlin is 4th in the championship standings as they run. What a spectacular season. Look at Kane in the gas.
A good run on the high side. Probably just going to run Gordon over there for a second.
We've seen that this weekend, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Now Casey Kane's got a little help from the back. Denny Hamlin's crafting with him a little bit.
Kane won here in June, rain-shortened race.
Harvick just doesn't have enough when he gets off the corners to be able to slide up in front of Jeff Gordon.
He'd love to be in that high groove, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and the car is... There's Junior going right through the middle of some of these guys. He's going to take a spot away from Casey Mears. That was a pretty strong move.
That was.
Yeah, now Harvick's got to get back in line, regroup a little bit. But he's been running down there in 1 and 2 all day. He hasn't run that high line. I haven't seen him run that high line yet. He's been down in the middle to the bottom. But these guys that are running the high line like Earnhardt making it work, can't do anything with them.
Casey Kane looking under Gordon. He's going to try and do it down low.
Not. Well, he's going to try, but then he's going to lose a spot to Dale Jr.
Boy. Earnhardt to 3rd, and now will challenge for 2nd. The leader, Edwards, got 2.5 seconds in front of this pack.
Yeah, Gordon's kind of running that line that Edwards wants to run, that high line, so Carl's going to take a look at the bottom. He's going to pass it. Dale Jr. Now Dale Jr.'s got Carl Edwards.
All right, I got you. I got you. All right. Earnhardt to 2nd, Gordon in 3rd. Let's take you through the field, starting with Allen and Edwards.
Yeah, who has not pitted under the last 2 cautions, Bill. Just before the decision to pit or not pit, that last one, crew chief Wally Brown said, oh, this is a tough one. But we only have 11 laps of racing on our tires. I would prefer to stay out if we can. Carl said, whatever you want. That's what they did. Dave?
Bit of an experiment right now for Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's been fast all day. This time on the pit stop, they only changed 2 right side tires. They did not make any chassis adjustments. We'll see what happens. Alan?
Let's talk about Jeff Gordon, who has just slipped back to 3rd position. Jeff, talking with his crew chief, Steve Letarte, a little while back during this race about where the crew can help the car and where the driver can help the car in a lap around here.
You know, Jeff, I'm kind of working with the theory that, you know, there's probably more I can do for you for drive-off than there is for the middle. There's probably more you can do for me in the middle than there is for drive-off, you know what I mean?
I agree with that because, I mean, there's times when I push and there's times when I get a turn, so I think it just has to do with my entry, how much brake I use and all that.
Little driving technique affecting the car's performance. Gordon did not pit on that last caution. Matt?
Allen Jr. winner Casey Kane, now his crew chief Kenny Francis, opted for the same strategy as the 99 team. Felt like it was better to have the track position than pit, and they will just short pit when they get closer to their window than what the other teams will do. The car just still too tight. The front, the nose, just not in the racetrack, Dave.
Same thing for Greg Biffle, Matt, and on that last stop they changed 2 right side tires, made a little bit of a chassis adjustment for Greg, but so far hasn't been able to make much progress on the leaders. Marty?
Well, Dave, Matt Kenda trying to work his way back to the front after several changes on a stop a couple laps ago where they added a spring rubber to the race car. They made a wedge adjustment. Matt said the car now much better than it was. It was loose on exit before. He said he just couldn't crank the wheel like he would like to. Dave?
Bobby Labonte stayed out on this last top. They did not come in and take anything on. The last time they pitted was the lap 53 caution for David Gilliland's wreck. His car was loose. They made a chassis adjustment, and it seems to have helped the 43 car. The 29 of Kevin Harvick also stayed out on that last stop. They are, unfortunately, however, the car is very loose for Kevin. He radioed in 4 laps into the run. They'll need to make some changes under the next caution. Matt?
Right in his mirror is the 11 car. Denny Hamlin driving the car that he won both races with at Pocono. He's been fighting a loose condition most of the day, also working pit cycles, trying to get that car back up front. He was all the way back in the 25th position. Meanwhile, the 07 Clint Boyer, his spotter, Timmy Fido, who grew up here in Michigan, former driver, trying to help him on the line, telling him the fastest line that the other drivers are using, but he's just not able to work that 07 to the high side, Dave.
Elliott Sadler's car yesterday was tight. They got that out of it, and it's been loose all day. Tough to drive. But it's when it's your first time driving for a team, you got to set some goals. Let's see what Elliott had to say when asked that question.
I want to perform. I think we can perform, and it's pretty much we've all sat down as a group, and you know, Casey's run very well this year, and we're going to start off with our cars kind of like his, and me learn, maybe have to drive, you know, change my driving style a little bit, and kind of work off them a little bit. And you know, my main #1 goal is, one, get this car back in the top 35 in points. I think that's very important by the end of the year to be able to do that. 2, to try to be competitive, maybe get a pole, maybe win a race. You never know. If we keep working hard, anything can happen. And 3 is the next 4 races, whatever we can do information-wise or chassis-wise is help the 9 car get in the chase. I think that's very important to Evernham Motorsports.
One thing you heard him say was that my cars will be like Kasey Kahne's. The crew confirmed that is the case on Friday when he got in it for the first time, and Elliott said, whoa, this thing is fast. Alan.
Joe Nemechek is running in 12th position. They took right side tires only on that last pit stop on the Army machine. Best finish of the entire season for Nemechek at 13th. Joe told me this morning they've been running better than that. They just need some luck to get to the end of one of these things.
That Mark Martin, a 4-time winner here at MIS, he just told crew chief Pat Trice the car finally has gone to the tight side. It's been free most of the afternoon. His biggest hindrance is trying to work his way through traffic. He says he just have to try to pick him up the best way you can in the corner at the right time. Dave?
Tony Stewart started the day in traffic, starting in 33rd position. He's made his way toward the front to some degree. His car was a little bit tight in the middle of the corners on the last stop. They made a chassis adjustment, gave him 4 fresh tires, AB.
And let's drop back and check on the championship leader, Jimmy Johnson. Remember, we told you that they pitted out of sequence with everyone else looking to get some track position. Well, the adjustments that they made on this car have it performing well enough that they changed their mind, decided to get back on the same pit sequence as the leaders and try and work their way up through the field. Jimmy running 20th right now.
Thanks, Alan. 39 cars run on the lead lap here at Michigan. Carl Edwards had about a 2.5-second lead over Dale Earnhardt Jr. when we started that through the field, and that is now only about a 1-second lead, and Earnhardt Jr. is making some fast laps.
Yeah, he's definitely the fastest car on the racetrack, and he's going to catch him.
Earnhardt Jr. in victory lane yesterday. Carl Edwards trying to get there today.
These guys are going to race each other pretty clean here for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, because the guys next door are watching pretty closely.
Yeah, there's a huge magnifying glass right on Helton's forehead right now.
Earnhardt Jr. to the lead. More from Allen.
Just talking about, as Wally was talking about the different line that Earnhardt Jr. was running and Carl around the racetrack, it sounded like Wally was almost listening to Bobby Hudson, Carl's spotter, because he was telling Carl where Jr. was running to see if he could adapt that to his car. Dave?
Now, the crowd cheered loudly when Junior came by as a leader that time, but I got to tell you, I had a confusing ride in the back of the pickup this morning with Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, Kurt has had his detractors in the past, and Junior was quoted yesterday as saying, you know, I might about split my fan base in half. As we rode around the speedway, there was booing, there was cheering, and Earnhardt and Busch just kind of looked at each other, and I looked at them, and we all said, we don't know what to think.
Dave?
Bill?
The booing?
That was for you, buddy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So the draft here, obviously, it's not like a Daytona or Talladega, but it does help.
You do feel it. Check out our Home Depot virtual garage. I'll tell you what I'm talking about, or I'll try to.
Okay, good luck.
This is usually Benny's job too. So, you know, when you're by yourself, you're basically busting the air. You're the guy that's busting the air. So, if a car comes up behind you, he's doing all the work. So you've got all that free air that's going over the top of your car. So you're running a little bit faster in second place. Now, if you've got a guy in front of you, you're going to actually be pushing him by the guy that's down on the bottom that's pushing the arrow by himself. So 2 cars, 3 cars are faster than 1. That's why you'll see a guy down on the bottom here at Michigan all by himself. You'll see 5 or 6 guys lined up on the high side. Well, those 5 or 6 cars are going to be faster than that 1 car. So that's why it's really hard to make a pass on the bottom unless you've got some help or a really good run.
And Earnhardt Jr.'s had a spectacular run. And he knows with today there are just 4 races remaining, and when the checkered flag falls this afternoon, just 3 before the cutoff and the chase for the championship begins. His team has a lot of work to do in a very small amount of time.
It's an exciting part of the sport. It's a great addition over the last couple of years. But at the same time, I think if you did let it bother you, it could really bother you a lot. So that could also make you do a lot of things you shouldn't do on the racetrack and make some mistakes on the racetrack. So I just try to stay calm and stay cool. So when I get in the car, I'm focused and I got, I know exactly what I need to do in front of me, and I don't try to do too much and make mistakes.
The pressure in this sport to perform is huge, but the race to the chase and the chase itself has made it even more intense.
Yeah, people really have no idea how much pressure there is on these guys, the drivers, the teams. I mean, the sponsors put pressure on them, the team owners put pressure on them, the manufacturers put pressure on you, your wife puts pressure on you. I mean, it's just, it's a lot of pressure, and it's so different. I mean, you go to the Busch garage or the truck garage, it's nothing like, the tense you feel when you walk through a garage. It's just incredible. So there's a lot riding on the line.
And you can feel it at this stage of the season when you walk into the garage, even as early as Friday morning, because the guys on the bubble are already worrying about what's going to happen Sunday or what's going to happen between now and Sunday. Dave?
And Bill, you remember how Dale Earnhardt Jr., when he's behind the wheel, sometimes relieves pressure during the race?
With a conversation?
Yes, he does. And with who usually? His cousin, Tony Uri Jr., the crew chief. And when he was running second behind Carl Edwards, he said, hey, buddy, you got to get in the ball game. Running second, guys. And so Tony Uri Jr. radios back, you know what? I got my ball, and I'm carrying it. And then he took the lead.
He used to have that ball in the car, too, remember? Yeah. Wilson from the movie Castaway? Said he got lonely in there. He's lonely right now out front of Carl Edwards by a second. There's Tony Uri Jr., and these guys reunited this season. Anytime you make change on a NASCAR Nextel Cup team, it makes it a little harder to move forward. It takes a while for everything to come back together. These guys have struggled. Earnhardt Jr. right now, currently 10th in the championship standings, but certainly still on the bubble. Strong run here today would mean a lot to these guys. Earnhardt Jr. over Carl Edwards, then it's Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane, and Matt Kenseth, the top 5. Working lap 92 of 200 here at the Michigan International Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won yesterday. He leads today. Looking at green flag pit stops with 94 laps complete. Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon heading down pit road, and a long way to go for these guys. The 99's headed for you, Alan.
Yeah, and here's the risk they take, Bill. If the caution comes out before the other guys who pitted later have to stop, they're going to be caught a lap down. It's going to be an air pressure adjustment and also a track bar adjustment for Carl Edwards. Going to try and adjust the way the car handles in the corners. You should see the wrench go in one of the back windows. There it goes. That looks like a wedge adjustment to me. They're going to make a 4-tire change here for Carl Edwards. Jeff Gordon's car a little farther up pit road said his car was starting to not want to turn into the corners as he went in. They're going to make some adjustments there on the 24, and a good race off pit road for these two.
These guys last pitted under that caution at lap 43 and stayed out on the lap 63 caution. Matt.
And we told you that Casey Kane's a little bit off sequence as some of the other leaders. Service going on the non-car, making big headway on this car. Earlier, absolutely no grip with the car. They have slowly got the handle dialed in for Casey. Solid stop on the Dodge, boys. Small air pressure adjustment.
So those are the guys that stayed out. The 99, the 24, and the 9 of Kane.
Casey Kane.
And that's the race leader. Sorry, Wally.
Casey Kane may go a lap down here.
Okay, now Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader, but while we were away at commercial, Carl Edwards got the lead, and watch what happened here.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin LePage had a tire going down. He was trying to get to pit lane. He was going low. Earnhardt had to get way off the gas. And there goes Carl Edwards. I mean, blows by him.
Dave, you got more on that?
Just the radio transmissions immediately following that. Junior really didn't say much except, what was that? And his spotter said, I don't even know what to tell you, Junior.
He did a good job not running over him.
Yeah, that was really close. Like I said, LePage was just trying to get down the racetrack. But it was close.
Saw the graphic that Junior has led 21 laps now. Carl Edwards has led 32. Kenseth, Newman, McMurray, Gordon, Kyle Busch have all led today, along with Kyle Petty and Kurt Busch. And Hermie Sadler also led a lap. Looking at the car of Ryan Newman. Marty, you got something on this?
Yeah, Bill, half of the left side of the grille for Ryan Newman is missing. There's a big hole in the front part of the race car. And his car before was extremely loose. And I'm literally dirt tracking it coming off the corners. Then all of a sudden it got tight. Ryan didn't know why. They noticed there's a big hole on the left side right underneath Charger. That changed the handling characteristics on the 12 car. Now his car way too tight. They're going to have to try and fix it when they come to pit road. The problem is these stops are likely going to be green flag stops, meaning they won't have a lot of time to do many repairs.
So right below the...
Yeah, it's right below the screen. It's actually where it's taped up. But you can see it right there on the bottom. There's a hole on the bottom. And it's probably tightened the car up quite a bit. See if we can get a look at it right here. It's right there in that area. See that hole right there.
Well, that won't be fun.
Now, if they got to fix that under the green, it's going to be tough. I mean, they can put some tape over it, try to block that hole.
Yeah, it'll never stay. There's the good look at it.
Yeah.
The sun's shining right down on it. Been a frustrating season for that bunch. Previous winner here at Michigan. Just past the halfway mark. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the race leader. Be looking at some more green flag pit stops coming up. Earnhardt leads Kenseth, Boyer, Biffle, and Elliott Sadler. Green flag pit stops. Dave.
Pit road right now, Bill, is the Kevin Harvick car. His car had gotten terribly loose coming off of the corner. Wondered if there was something wrong with that left front fender. They're going to go look at it as they go around, but it will be a 4-tire change for Harvick and adjustments to try to get the loose out of that car coming off the corners. Matt?
And just on pit road is the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Now, his crew chief, Mike Ford, they've been trying different lines on the racetrack. The car just way too free on the bottom, trying a number of different adjustments on this stop to try to get that car where it needs to be. Denny would like to really run it up high. That's where he ran it most of practice on Friday and was very happy with it. In fact, Mike said they were really glad to see that the sun was out today because the track would be slick. And they said that the 11 car really liked that. Dave?
Leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road. Here is his cousin Tony carrying the ball. They will make an air pressure adjustment for Dale Earnhardt Jr. The car just a little bit tight, even though Jr. was leading. They know they have to keep up with the track and the day, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment and change 4 tires for the leader. Here comes Jr. Hits his marks perfectly. Guys go to the right side. Remember, earlier today they had a bit of a slow stop. They have recovered from that on every subsequent stop. And this one looks pretty good so far as well. Alan.
And the championship leader, Jimmy Johnson, making his way down pit road, watching his speed because the speeding penalty on top of the day he's already had would be a little difficult. Going to be a 4-tire change. They'll pack this thing full of fuel. Also look to try and help Jimmy with a loose condition. You see the wrench going into the holes on the right rear side of the car. Marty?
Alan Ryan Newman hits pit road. You can see the hole in the left front grille. They've got to get some tape on that. They fabricated a piece of tape they're sticking over with a pole. Crew member will grab that piece of tape and put it on in the right spot. 4 tires. They're going to make the chassis changes. They're going to make sure they get the piece of tape in the right spot. Problem is they covered up part of the grille they didn't want covered up with that big piece of tape, Dave.
Here comes defending champion Tony Stewart onto pit road. His car has been tight most of the afternoon. Let's see what the crew goes and does this time. They will look at Tony's car, definitely change 4 tires on the car, wrench going in the rear window, chassis adjustment to try to help the champ steer this car better. Left side tires coming off. Got to index them perfectly to get them back on. 5 lug nuts hit. And Tony leaves. Matt.
And the 07, Clem Boyer makes his way down pit road for service. He said the car was pretty free. He was talking about possibly trying 2 tires on this stop just to see what the race car would do. Some other guys have done that today, but you can see he has sticker tires on the left side. Air pressure adjustment. Hardy.
Matt Kurt Busch ran his way back into the top 10. The car was loose at the beginning of that run, meaning no rear grip. They're going to go down on the track bar trying to fix that. He was a little too tight in the center of the corner. He wasn't worried about that. One of that loose condition fixed, Dave.
Same adjustment has already happened for Greg Biffle down on the track bar for fresh tires. His car wouldn't turn in the corner either. Greg is off pit road.
This all occurring 109 laps into today's race. And still waiting for a handful of drivers to make their next stop. Here's Matt Kenseth. He's the race leader. Reed Sorensen runs second, then Mark Martin and Joe Nemechek. Mark Martin is there. Matt
slides to a stop, Bill. You can see the crew member already making the wedge adjustment. Mark called for that. He wasn't so sure about making an air pressure change. They tried 2 tires earlier. Back on lap 43, the car was extremely loose. Amy, he said now it's extremely tight.
And Joe Nemechek pits the Army car. Last time they were on pit road, they only took right side tires. So these left side tires, the crew's about to pull off the car. They've been on there for a while and worked pretty hard. 4 tire change for Nemechek, Marty.
Matt Kenseth hit pit road as a leader. Allen, he said he wanted a cold drink of water. You know, he said he got more of the rear grip back as that run went on, but they're still going to go down on the track bar, trying to give him even a little more real grip. 4 tires and a quick stop for the 17 much. Little slow on the rear tires, though, not quite as quick as they wanted to. The first half of it looked great.
Wow. Robbie Reiser won't be pleased with that. It's one of the best pit crews in the business right there on that 17 car. They don't like giving up anything on pit road. Reed Sorensen in the 41 was scored as the race leader. Now he heads for his pit stall. And that will complete the cycle of green flag pit stops with 111 laps in the books. Coming to you, Marty.
Tell you what, Bill, at the end of that run, Reed Sorensen had an awfully quick race car. He raced his way into the top 10, and all these cycles of pit stops raced his way, obviously, to the lead. Just a little too tight, lacking some front grip towards the end of that run. They're going to take a half pound of the right front tire. Those are the only changes for the 41 car. Here in June, he had his career best finish of 5th place, and this is a quick stop, what you need under green flag conditions.
You're right, Marty. Good stop for those guys. So Sorensen heads back out. And up front, Jeff Gordon. Past winner here at Michigan, 4-time series champion. Missed the chase for the Nextel Cup 1 year ago. He's the one guy the other drivers don't want in the chase because this is a determined driver on a talented team.
I can't believe this. Dude, these cars are out of control. I can't believe how different they are with new tires. We'll just keep running like you did before. I can't run up there, Roger. It's dead sideways, man. I already bounced up to wall 1. Try your high line if you can.
Roger is car owner Roger Penske. And you could hear the frustration in his voice. Now, obviously, the spin here, that brings out the caution. You'll see the light turn red, but Kurt had to come down pit road at that point anyway because he's going to need tires. Might as well dive on there and get them done because you're going to restart at the tail end of the longest line anyway.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is go around this racetrack with a flat tire because if the tire comes apart, then it takes your body up. You know, it just tears the body off. So, I mean, he had to do that.
So Kurt, who got the penalty last week for coming onto pit road when it was closed, made the proper decision that time, but is not very happy with the way his car has been handling. They've turned the lights back on the pace car. You see the field had doubled up, but we're not going to go back to green this time. And a number of pit strategies playing out here with these guys diving on the pit road. Let's take a look at our DLP Picture Technology race recap. Fly over and all the pre-race excitement, and then the race excitement. Jimmy Johnson into the wall early and hard.
Down pit road, have a look at it.
Lap 18.
Double.
Yep, Jeff Gordon broke a motor.
Jeff Burton.
Jeff Burton. Thank you. Lap 24. Kevin Harvick.
Just got away from him. Down on the bottom, trying to make that pass on the low side. It got sideways. Did some damage to the front of the car, but the guys did a great job fixing it. Back in the race.
Kyle Busch. Had a tire go down. Into the wall. He's currently scored 41st, 87 laps down.
So we had a few guys with tire issues here. It seemed like for about a certain part of the race, there's a lot of guys that were going down. There's David Gilliland. And that's what, you remember I was telling you about that tire coming apart?
Yes.
Although his fender's already crushed in, so the tire's not really ripping it up.
Our DLP race recap. Our Napa Field summary. 7 caution periods. Jeff Burton, Todd Cleaver, the 2 cars out of the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader. Jamie McMurray in the 26 car on the front of that outside lane is at the tail end of the lead lap. But I started to say before, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte among the cars that pitted.
Wow. 12 car. Ryan Newman really got a start there. May have been too good of a start. We'll see what happens. Usually the guy on the bottom on the inside lane isn't supposed to get that good of a start.
Usually. Robbie Gordon right in front of Earnhardt.
Robbie's 1 lap. Well, at this second, he's on the lead lap. If Junior passes him, he'll put 1 lap down.
And it's worth going back and mentioning again how good that 8 car has been here this afternoon.
He's been the fastest car all day. I mean, there's no question about it. If they can keep on top of the handling and not let it get away from them, you know, they're going to be very, very tough to beat today, Dave.
And you got to be careful when you have a car that good, don't you, Wally?
Yes, because you can mess it up.
Well, or someone else can. We saw Kevin LePage dropping down low and almost getting into him earlier in the 49. On this restart, Jamie McMurray on the tail end of the lead lap in the 26 car. He started right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. They radioed to Junior, said, the 26 isn't real confident in their race car. And Junior said back, oh, great. He's still stuck back in traffic, and he is the leader.
And there's an orange car with a 2 and a 0 on the side that might be coming.
Stewart right there. Showing in the 4th spot right now.
Man.
.200 miles per hour down into these corners.
Dave, you got Tony too, right?
Yeah, and he's having a good time here at Michigan, as he always does. He says about Michigan that usually the bigger the track, the less fun it is. But he loves racing here, as we've said all day, because you can race different lines. And we've seen Stoney stay on that high line, the last little bit of this race. And the tight race car they have corrected, and it's easier to drive for Tony now since they made a chassis adjustment.
Must be pretty good to drive, because I saw 207 miles per hour going
I did too.
20 cars, so.
I saw that, then I looked at you to make sure you saw
and my mouth was open.
Scott Riggs in the 10. Riggs is 1 lap down. Clint Boyer in 4th behind Tony. Jimmy Johnson is the 5th place car in the low Chevy. And another guy now on the move in the second half of this race, the 6 of Mark Martin.
Mark is in 7th right now. There goes Mark. And don't forget Jimmy Johnson sitting up there 5th spot after their trouble on the first, second lap.
And he had that trouble at Indianapolis. And where did he finish in that race?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he finished well.
That's right. I think he won it.
I think he kissed some bricks after that deal.
Sure did. Matt.
Bill, a concern just besides the way the race cars handled it for Mark Martin was his fuel pressure gauge was a little out of whack. They didn't know right before the last stop. If he was getting low on fuel, maybe it wasn't picking up. But after the stop, Mark says the fuel pressure gauge is doing the exact same thing. So they think the gauge has just gone bad. But you see Mark running his Mark Martin line, about 1.5 lanes up from the bottom. This is one of those races where he really wants to pick up some momentum as we get closer and closer to Richmond.
He was really happy with that car after happy hour. And talking to his guys this morning, they thought they'd have the weapon to get it done here. We'll see. Long way to go. 76 laps remain here at Michigan. Mark, the only driver to pull off the weekend sweep here at Michigan. Did it in August of '93. It's what Earnhardt Jr. is trying to do today. Alan, how about that 48 ride?
Well, Bill, this is where these crew chiefs make the big bucks and have the forward vision in these races to make decisions. Remember when Jimmy Johnson pitted kind of by himself back at lap 54, then came back in with everybody else at lap 63. That was the lap that Jeff Gordon and Carl Edwards stayed out on. They had to stop under the green flag. As the lead change goes here, Matt Kenseth looking at Earnhardt Jr. And does he have it? Maybe. We'll give it to the yellow car for now. Just to finish the Jimmy Johnson story quickly, because they came back in and topped off that fuel way back at lap number 63, they were able to stretch their green flag pit stop till lap 106. They can make the finish on one more stop, and by staying out this time, they're up to 5th. Got their track position back.
Boy, you really got to be a master of managing your race strategy. Chad Knaus does an outstanding job of that.
Kenseth down on the bottom. He's trying to get by that 8 car. Does he have enough? He just doesn't quite have enough to slide up in front of him, getting off the corners.
It's hard to do down there, isn't it?
It really is. Now they're coming up on some cars in front of them that they're going to have to probably change their line altogether now, because they've got some traffic they've got to move on. What's Junior saying about his car, Dave?
You can run the high line, Wally, if your car is really
fast.
No, go out fast, but also loose. That's how you have to run that high line. And on this set of tires, he says it's looser than it was the last set. So he doesn't really like it at this point, and that's why the 17's catching him, Marty.
Dave, all day in the first practice on Friday and then all day yesterday, and Matt Kenseth worked on making his car better on the bottom. And he said during that practice, I know Junior and those guys are going to be running the top. So kind of odd that Matt finally has his car working right on the bottom of the racetrack, because Wally, to get around him, they got to go where they aren't, right?
That's right.
And Junior's up high and Matt's down low. Matt's getting his car to work. The key for the 17 months, they think the car is better at the end of the run. So they may let this play out for a little bit on old tires. They think they might have something for that 8 car.
He's working on him hard.
I think the 2 got in the wall again, Bill. Wow. A lot more damage on the right front, or the right side of the car.
And Kurt Busch, one of the guys on the outside looking in.
Ooh, Junior had to check up here a little bit. That may have been enough for Kenseth to make this pass. He had a good run on the 12 car, but he had nowhere to pass him. And that just lost that little bit of momentum. Was see if Kenseth can make it happen.
Come on down, Kurt. Come on.
Got the caution out.
Caution is out. And Matt Kenseth will be scored as the race leader.
Yo! I believe he hit the wall, but again, since we talked last. Here, there,
to the garage, guys. To the garage.
How about to the truck?
Charlotte.
Well, he said it was a handful.
Yeah, something definitely broke and went down there. Wow. Just finishing it off there.
Tell you, it has been a difficult season for him. They had very high hopes for the former series champion. Getting in that 2 car, driving for Roger Penske, moving Roy McCauley to crew chief. His Penske teammate Ryan Newman is the lucky dog. There's Kenseth, the race leader. Earnhardt Jr. is second. Tony Stewart in third. then Clint Boyer and Jimmy Johnson. Okay, some guys stopped not that long ago. Pit road will be open.
I think pit road will be very busy.
Stop now. You're still going to have to make one more stop if it stays green to the finish. How about that? Closing in on a record we didn't think we'd see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of these guys will come in. I'm not sure about Earnhardt, but I bet he does. Kenseth is whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever he does, everybody else will do the.
Well, he won at Dover when Robbie told him to come in, and he stayed out. So that worked out for him. He made the call from the seat. Field moving through turns 3 and 4. Fans watching to see who's coming to pit road. Oh, Matt got hosed.
I knew they would get
Whatever he does,
whatever.
Yeah. You got to go where they're not, right?
Yeah.
Matt wasn't on pit road. Matt?
And don't look for many adjustments, if any. No adjustment for Mark Martin. Says the car almost perfect, while the 07 Clint Boyer needs something big. His car in a four-wheel slide. Marty Snyder.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said the car's just getting comfortable now. Put a little bit of that air back in the right front that you took out the last time. Then we should be good to go. 4-tire stop. Alan?
Going to be a 4-tire change and a chassis adjustment for Jimmy Johnson's team. Chad Knaus telling his team, get it full, which they are working on doing right now. He expects people to take 2 tires and them to lose a little bit of track position as you see some cars going by, but a very good stop for the championship leading team.
Some guys didn't have a very good stop there. And again, a variety of strategies. And not pictured on that graphic, the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. We'll check into that and set up the running order when we come back to Michigan on
The back, and it cannot get the left rear tire off. Had to de-thread the last lug by hand. Finally got it removed, and then they made the change. That cost him a lot of position. And Junior radioed himself on the radio when he saw all the traffic he was in back on the track. We're in trouble now.
19th in the running order. And not only they took 4 tires, they had the trouble, but other guys took 2.
I think he's going to be okay.
You do?
I would rather be sitting on 4 tires right now than 2. How many laps to go do we have?
67.
67. So I think he's okay.
Time to pay off the singular race talk question. How many lucky dog passes should a driver be allowed to receive during the race?
That's surprising.
Really? I like that.
I thought people would have said a lot less.
I like the lucky dog rule.
No.
And we thank you for participating. How about BP voted in that?
Anytime, Bill.
Lights are out on the pace car. Ryan Newman was the lucky dog. Matt Kenseth, Ken Schrader, and Dave Blaney did not pit. See how that plays out.
Yeah, it's always pretty interesting on a restart when you've got all these guys that have different tires and different laps on their tires and
different attitudes.
Yeah, you're always going to have one guy back there that's 5 or 6 rows back that's really fast and try to get through all these cars.
McMurray in the 26 and Riggs in the 10 are racing to get back on the lead lap. They're 1 lap down. McMurray's around the leader. Riggs will try. Keep in mind that 17 and 26 are teammates.
Yeah, he may give it a lap or 2. Matt Kenseth.
Right.
But he can't wait around too long. He knows there's guys behind him that are going to be coming in a hurry.
Marty?
Well, as you can imagine, Matt was looking in his rearview mirror as the entire field came to pit road. He said, well, Robbie, that was just the entire field other than everybody, other than us. So they're going to try and stick it out with those old tires. Had a couple things going in their favor. Some other guys did not pit. The guys behind them took 2 tires. They're hoping all that does play to their favor. Matt's going to get out as far as he can. What they hope for now is about a 20-lap run so that everybody else, the next caution, comes down pit road with them for hopefully the final stop for the day.
Greg Zach Biffle getting a really good run off before there. He dives all the way to the bottom. Might pick up a couple spots here if he can slide up in front of Tony Raines, which he will.
Biffle inside the top 10 here. Mark Martin trying to...
Yeah, he's down on the bottom with nobody behind him, and doesn't help.
But Raines is going to squeeze Gordon there.
Oh, looks like Raines is doing everything he can, but direct. That car was really sideways there for a minute.
Look at Denny Hamlin with the move.
See, that's the thing. You guys check up just a little bit. If there's a guy in the back sees this happening, he's just going to keep his foot in it and pass some cars.
Man, it must be fun to be young and brave.
Got it done.
Sure did. Update on the 24 from Allen.
Yeah, I got shuffled back in traffic a little bit by the strategy, Bill, but I just talked with his crew chief, Steve Letarte. He said they're interested in their track position at lap 200. They wanted to take 4 tires now, knowing some others would take 2, expecting that if they have to make the last pit stop later in the race, they'll do something different than everyone else. They'll be set up to just take fuel only, or maybe just get right side tires and minimize the time on pit road then.
All kinds of strategy when you come to Michigan. Jeremy Mayfield won here a year ago. They rolled the dice on fuel mileage and won the race. Reed Sorensen restarted 3rd, has fallen back to 6th after taking just 2 tires on pit road. This is outside the top 10 now. Hamlin 11th. Mark takes the position from Gordon.
He just squeezed in front of Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon practically laying the bumper to him. Going down the front straightaway.
Looks like they want to use different lines there, huh?
Yeah, Mark's using the bottom. I mean, he's got that car stuck pretty good down on that bottom line.
This is for 3rd. Casey Kane in the 9, Tony Stewart in the 20, and Jimmy Johnson watching from behind. And here comes Johnson. How about Schrader, 2nd? The 21 car. On board with Johnson. More on Schrader from AB.
Yes, sir. Bill, Michael McSwain reunited with Ken Trell. Got a caution out.
Caution is for debris.
Boy, this is getting real close to that pit window we talked about earlier.
Somebody's going to try it now for sure.
Absolutely. Come in and top it off right before they go back green.
There's the debris on the apron right by the start-finish line. Scott Riggs is the lucky dog, and McMurray also back on the lead lap. And that will put 30 cars on the lead lap. Wow. 59 to go when they cross the line this time. Alan, you busy?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, but go ahead, I'll help.
Well, we were talking fuel mileage before we came on the air today, and you came up with some numbers that were pretty good.
I heard some people talking they could go as many as 52 laps on the last run of this race, Bill. What lap are we at now?
We're on 141, 59 to go.
Now, there are some people who think they may be able to go as far as 55 laps.
That's the number that's an eye-opener, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you come in now and you pack the car full of fuel, do you get enough caution laps where you can make it to the finish? I thought I heard Wally say it a minute ago while I was chatting with the crew chief. Somebody's going to try it, right?
Yep, you're right.
Somebody's going to try it for sure. And I think what you got to do is you got to wait till the last possible moment. You know, when they get the one to go, you need to duck down pit row, top it off there.
Matt, you got something on Casey?
Well, Bill, a lot of conversation back and forth between he and Kenny Francis, and basically talking about the fact that they're about 10 laps shy of their window, throwing around the possibility of just staying out for track position, and then when they get a little closer and get in within that window, then make their stop and their final adjustment.
Thank you, sir. This is the 9th caution of the race. That ties the record here at Michigan. I'll tell you.
I guess you'd have to stay. I mean, if you can't make it, you have to stay out.
Well, we're about to find out. Riggs. Oh, I think there are some takers. See how it plays out. You're going to come back in and top off before they go back to green. Be fun to watch. Always is. NASCAR Next Hookup Series Racing from Michigan on TNT is brought to you by the Home Depot, NASCAR's home improvement warehouse. By UPS, proud sponsor of Dale Jarrett's 88 Ford. Go Dale, go. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, so you can grab life by the horns, Dodge. And by Ruby Tuesday, simple, fresh American dining. Really great turnout here today, and had a bunch of these folks here yesterday for the NASCAR Busch Series race, won by Dale Earnhardt Jr., Casey Mears, unofficially second, then Robbie Gordon, Matt Kenseth, and Mark Martin. Again, the results from the races usually official on Monday. And Kevin Harvick, they're going to try and kidnap him for a couple of races. Running away with the Busch Series Championship. All kinds of strategy playing out here at Michigan. 56 to go.
Mixing it up with a lot of traffic right now, Bill. In fact, watching Earnhardt Jr. before that yellow came out, he was having a little bit of trouble back there.
Stewart got tangled up behind Schrader. Jimmy Johnson trying to make a run. Stewart now second, Schrader third. On board with Schrader. And just to point out, Jeremy Mayfield last year went 52 laps to win this race on fuel mileage. We have 55 to go right now.
Got Jimmy Johnson down on the low side.
Wow, Kyle Petty in the middle of that and looked to be off the pace. Alan?
Hey, Bill, remember at the very top of our broadcast just before the green, I talked about how Chad Knaus expected the upper lane to give up grip late in this race. Look where that 48 car is running. Right down on the bottom line in his final laps, and he's moving up.
See how that plays out. There's Chad. Missed the first 4 races of the season. But this team has not missed a beat. Lead the championship standings right now by 104 points over Matt Kenseth. It's time to get racing.
Yeah, they're going to get busy right now. They're running very hard. Casey Kane up a little bit higher than Tony Stewart's running right now. Jimmy Johnson right there with them. And Kenseth stretching it out just a little bit. These guys are running around in traffic behind them, and Kenseth is about a second and a half ahead of them right now. And he wants them to keep racing.
Oh, yes, he does.
Because every time they get side by side, he's a little bit faster every lap. Puts a little bit more distance between him and them.
Kane going for the Michigan sweep here in 2006. In the box, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, man. Joe just looked like he just barely tagged the wall, but Junior's back in traffic, and there's just no place to pass these guys. So he's really been boxed up back there. Right now, he's over 4 seconds behind Matt Kenseth, so he really needs to work past these guys as fast as he can. Don't think his car's working as good right now as it was when he was out front. A little bobble there.
He just lost a couple of positions there. Dave?
Well, we're going to try to find out some more about that, but they did tell him during the last caution, or actually after they had that bad pit stop, to not worry about the points. That was one of the first things that Junior asked about. Remember, coming into today, he was in 10th position to the good by only 54 points. He's still in 10th, I believe, as they run, but at this point, he's a little worried. They told him, don't worry about it, and Steve Meal, his spotter, said, I know it's hard, but don't think about the points, Junior. Just run your race.
It's almost impossible not to think about the points because that's all people keep bringing up every single day of the week.
Well, and that's the guy he's racing right there, Hamlin, Gordon, for the points. So he knows if I'm behind them, I'm in a bad situation.
Yeah, it's almost impossible not to think about the points this time of the year.
Earnhardt is still 10th, as Dave pointed out, just 26 points in front of Kasey Kahne. He restarted 19th. A caution ago. Was 12th, now back to 13th, but the big thing is he's 5 seconds behind.
Right.
And not going anywhere. Back up toward the front. Kasey Kahne has 4th. Carl Edwards wants it. And got it. Strong move by Edwards.
Yeah, Carl got a really good run there and was able to get in front of Kasey before they got out of the corner. 205 miles per hour off of Kasey Kahne's car going down to turn 1.
This
guys are hauling.
Oh, it's fast, isn't it? Gordon currently running 10th, trying to make his way back into the chase for the championship. Knows you got to get as many points as you can, but it's not easy to do.
There's things that are unpredictable that happen out there, and at the end of the day, yes, you are racing the guys that you're trying to race to get into the chase. You know, Junior and Kane, Stewart, Hamlin, you know, guys like that. And we haven't gotten into that mode where we're focusing on them yet, where we're on the radio saying, okay, this guy's in this position, we got to get this. We haven't done that yet, but I would imagine it's going to start here pretty soon.
Yeah, like 2 laps ago.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Gordon now up to 9th. Kasey Kahne and Mark Martin. Kahne going the wrong way. Martin tried to pick up some positions. We'll show you the points as they run. And again, you can see how close it is right there. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. An 8th three-way tie.
Unreal.
Burton's out of the race. Big winner right now, though, is Carl Edwards. Just 158 out with 3 to go after today. But still 47 to go in this one. And Carl was looking pretty good with 2 to go yesterday.
You're right.
Mark's going to try down low. You know Kasey Kahne likes that high groove.
Yeah, Mark's just going to have to get a really, really good run on Kasey Kahne in order to make this pass, because you've got to be in front of him when you're getting off the corner. You've got to slide in front of him. And Kasey Kahne's been getting off the corners really good. So I think it's going to be real difficult for Mark to make that pass, trying to pass him on the low side.
Kenseth leads. Stewart, Johnson, Carl Edwards, Kasey Kahne. Mark working all over the back bumper of Kahne. Matt Kenseth, former NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion, 2nd in the standings here in 2006. His third
car
visit to the wall. Yes.
He can't wait to come back next year.
Okay, we'll go on board with Stremme, see what we can see. Well, Stremme's the lucky dog in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Boy. Tough weekend at Michigan for JJ. But I think the fuel strategy thing has changed. Because just about everybody will make a visit now, don't you think?
I don't know. These guys were close to begin with.
Okay.
The yellows help. I don't know. I mean, whatever Matt does,
yeah,
everybody else will do the opposite.
Let's take a look at our All-State Good Hands driver. How about Dale Earnhardt Jr.? I'm going fast. I'm going fast. Oh, man. It's like riding with Wally on the way to the airport. Didn't hit him? Watch Carl go by. There we go. Allstate, the official insurance sponsor of NASCAR, and Earnhardt gets our Allstate Good Hands Driver Award. On board with Dale Jr.
2 tires and fuel.
That what you're doing?
That's what I would do.
Taking 4.
You sissy.
I'm taking 4.
And then it's going to put you in the back. You're going to be stuck in traffic.
Because I think
Wait on the gas, Russ. Let's go like hell here.
it's Robbie Reiser, Kenseth's crew chief. Time for our pit guys to go to work. Here they come. Matt.
And a lot of conversation, Bill, just about whether to make any adjustments at all. As you see the 9 of Casey Kane peel off to a stop. He said just bolt 4 tires on it and let's go. He says the car just way too free to run the bottom. Absolutely no side bite. Marty, that's why you've seen him go back to the high side.
What a break for the leader, Matt Kenseth, who is 2 laps away from a green flag pit stop and giving up all that track condition. No front grip. They make air pressure adjustments to fix that. Dave?
Tony Stewart's car too tight in the middle of the corner. Track bar, air pressure out of the right front. He's gone. Allen.
A 4-tire change here for Carl Edwards. Going to fill it up with fuel. They made a small adjustment to the car. Let's see how things sort out off of pit road.
Well, it was a dash off of pit road. We'll have to sort out the running order and the different strategies coming into play when we come back to Michigan with just 39 laps to go. For the lead. Earnhardt Jr. is back in 15th, has not had much luck in traffic after leading 40 laps earlier in the race. Matt Kenseth around Boyer. Boyer coming back.
Yeah, Kenseth slipped up the racetrack a little bit. He had to get out of the throttle just a little. Boyer didn't. They drag race down the straightaway.
Kenseth by 3/1000ths of a second if you're scoring at home. What are you doing, Marty?
Wow, that was close, too.
Go ahead, Marty. We'll watch this.
And imagine this, guys. Matt doesn't like the handling of his race car right now. He said, I know with the changes we're about to make on this last stop, I'm going to be screaming loose in the first couple laps, but give them to me anyway. Those 4 tires make all the difference in the world. Matt?
And you can see the 07 Clip Boyer working the high side around the 17. We're running about a lane off the bottom now. We're talking about trying 2 tires earlier for track position because the car was just that good. They're hoping now they can just keep him out front. It was a little bit free, but it was a little tight on entry, but not bad, Bill.
Thanks, Matt. Kenseth knows the 4 are better than 2. So does he have to be more patient, or does he just go get it now?
Well, he's a little bit loose right to begin with, like they were talking about. That he may have to wait until it comes to him a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of time. We've got 34 laps here left in the race.
Black flag for the 88 of Dale Jarrett for smoking on the racetrack.
I thought he quit that. 07 car's really loose right there. I mean, you saw him a couple times catch that car through 3 and 4.
The car was smoking.
Oh, the car was smoking. His 2 tires are still working pretty good, but he's got his hands full, and Kenseth sees that. He's going to get behind him and make it worse, or I would.
Well, Matt's a much nicer guy than you are.
That's true. And he's going to get the spot here. I think his tires have finally come in, got the pressures in them.
And Clint's not going to give up easy. Boy, you see Boyer's hand working?
Yeah. Boyer's hand keeps going to the right. That's not what you want on an oval.
This is why fans come to Michigan and watch the Michigan race. Just 32 to go. Now Matt's got him.
Now he's got him.
Now he's going to climb up high. And here come the...
Jimmy Johnson looks like he's got his hands full, too.
It's a hungry pack behind him. Johnson, Kane, Stewart. Here comes Mark Martin. Inside of Elliott Sadler. Matt. Dave, what do you want
Sadler here. It's fun to watch these guys gamble at the end of this race for track position to keep Elliott up front. Remember the 19 car here last year? We've already talked about it. Jeremy Mayfield gambled on fuel mileage at the end and won the race and essentially put his team into the chase. This year, new driver here at Michigan, having a great day. The chemistry seems to be working, and at the end of the race, they said, let's have a little fun. Stay up front, take 2 tires, and hopefully they can stay up front.
Thank you, Dave. If Elliott Sadler can get a top 10, that'd be huge for him, huge for Evernham Motorsports. Of course, their #1 goal, trying to get Casey Kane into the chase. He's climbed his way up to 3rd. But Sadler knows it's all about momentum at the end of 2006, heading for 07.
I think momentum is a big part of our sport, and if we can gain some momentum the next 14 races, we're going to feel like when we go to Daytona, we're going to be a top 10 team. So we're really looking forward to each track and what we need to do and try to build off this thing. You know, this is my first time ever in a Dodge Charger, so I've got a lot to learn in traffic and stuff like that, and you know, I'm looking forward to learning. I think the learning curve is going to be steep. You know, this team's out of the top 35 in points, so we got a lot of work to do each and every week we get to the racetrack.
And, you know, we talked about how much pressure is on this deal right now. You've never seen drivers switching rides this early in the season. And I think a big part of that is that, just like Elliott said, you're trying to get that momentum. So when you come to Daytona, you know, it's not like you're coming with a new team and you're learning everybody, because that does take time. So, you know, we talked about it yesterday. I think it's real smart to do it this way. If it's not working and you know it's going to change at the end of the year anyway, then do it now.
Right.
It's best for everybody.
And a lot of people didn't think Elliott Sadler was going to leave Yates with, you know, 14, 15 to go, but it worked out best for both sides.
Right. I don't think he was until a situation happened with Jeremy, and that opened up the door and said, hey, let's get it done now.
Teammates, the 48 of Johnson, the 24 of Gordon, behind the 6 of Mark Martin. More on the 48 from Allen.
Yeah, his hit, first of all, Bill, his pit crew has had some outstanding stops today. They gained him a couple of spots on that last pit stop. They also made a chassis adjustment. Jimmy reporting in just a minute ago that his car lacking some rear end grip, and he's fighting to hang on to every position he can.
You saw that right away, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been seeing that since they dropped the green. He's really had his hands full, and you can see the wheel through the car. That's what's so cool about watching these races. A lot of these guys have tape on the steering wheel. It's a white piece of tape. So when you come in the pits, you've got your steering wheel. It helps the driver keep his steering wheel straight so they can get the wheels off the car. But if you look at it through the corners, or if guys got white gloves, and you see that tape going, you know, to the right, you know that their car is loose, and they're hanging on to it. Another guy that's fun to watch is Biffle, because his car's usually always loose, and that wheel's always going to the right.
He loves a loose race car. There's his teammate, Matt Kenseth, by 0.2 of a second over Clint Boyer. We'll take our final green flag. Tires and a strong pit stop and some good driving are a forward bold move of the race to Matt Kenseth. Matt Yoakum.
Bill, mathematically, Kurt Busch still has a shot to make the chase, but Kurt, it is a huge mountain to climb. Describe just the emotions over the past few weeks. It has been a tough month of August for you.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, Roy and I were just talking about how we can take a car that can almost lead a lap at Michigan, and then by the end of the run be dead sideways loose. And so we've been working on that. You know, it's just unfortunate I couldn't hang on to it. I lost it just trying to run dead last after we're just trying to lead. So we're really confused on the 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks. But next week's Bristol, and that's a good track for us. We won there earlier this year, and you know, our chase hopes are still there, but man, it's going to be tough. So we just might go to work on what we need to do to really get these things to run on a 1.5 mile track.
Your season started with such high hopes. Now do you change, like you mentioned, your goals and look ahead to 2007? Even though we're going to have the car tomorrow, you're still going to be running a lot of this type of track configurations with this car.
Yeah, so that's where we really just have to get it dialed in and take our time. Can't rush into anything stupid. I think that's maybe what we had today, where we're just reaching, just trying to hang on to those final spots to get into the chase. You know, it's a new element for me. Last couple of years I've been in the chase and didn't have to think about it. This year it's been a long run to try to get in, and so it's over, but it's not over. So, you know, we're not disappointed with where we are right now, with how we've run lately. And so I've got Roger. I'm going to talk with him after this race. Maybe we'll run some more Busch races to act like we're testing for the Cup car. So we got a lot of things going on, and I know we can make it better, and we'll get Miller Lite back in victory lane.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks.
Kurt Busch, 38th here at Michigan today, Bill.
Thank you, Matt. Matt Kenseth leads, then Clint Boyer is second. Jeff Gordon restarted 12th on lap 164. He runs third.
And Ryan Newman, his teammate, of course, his teammate's not having a good day either. No. Ryan is 27th spot right now.
And Carl Edwards led 32 laps earlier in this race, and he has fallen all the way back.
19th right now.
19th, okay, and that's really hurting him in the championship standings.
He was like in the top 6
right
10 laps ago, wasn't he?
Yep. He's struggling. Earnhardt Jr. has made his way to 10th with 18 to go. There you see Gordon, the fastest. Speeds at the line. Jimmy Johnson restarted 5th on lap 164. 12th right now. And is the cliche he has his hands full?
He feels like he's on a half-mile dirt track. Watch him go down into turn 3. And just watch his hands. It's really moving the wheel. Really being gentle with it. See how he feeds it? He's trying to feel where the car's going. There's the loose right there. When he goes back to the right. But when you move that wheel, it's like you're trying to feel the car. He doesn't feel like that car's getting into the racetrack. So you kind of move that wheel around a little bit. And when you crank it to the right, you've lost it. You know, you've lost the tail end of the car. He has slowed down. I mean, that car is so loose that he's taking it a lot easier than he was 10 laps ago, and he's losing a lot of time right now, but the car is so loose he can't do anything else. You can't turn the wheel when the car is loose. The more you turn it, the more sideways it wants to get. So you just really got it. Look at Robbie on the top.
Right, and that's
crazy loose.
Yeah, and
you
that's fourth position. Yeah.
So it's a fun shot to watch. See these guys, how hard they work in these race cars. Because I'm telling you what, these race cars are not easy to drive. I know it looks easy from where we sit and TV and stuff, but these are the hardest cars to drive as far as anything goes in racing. I mean, I've driven a lot of different cars. These cars are pigs. They are hard to drive.
And once the handle goes away, it just
gets worse.
Right.
Yeah, it just gets worse. And you've got cars all around you, and you're racing for every single position. So, you know, these things are tough.
Johnson is 12th. Robbie Gordon is 13th. He's come back from a spin early in the race. And he's trying to get that position away from Jimmy. Not missing anything up front. Kenseth by more than a second and a half over Boyer. Gordon is 2 seconds back. Update on Jimmy Johnson from Allen.
Bill, just along that storyline you were talking about Robbie Gordon. Remember, the day started on lap 1 for Jimmy Johnson with a flat tire. They were a lap down before we even got 5 laps into this race. They've come all the way back up into the top 5, and now they're just kind of struggling on. But from where the day started, still not a bad effort. Marty?
And Allen, it has been an adventure for Robbie Gordon, as we just talked about. The spin early on today, got a little contact on the right side, but on the last stop took 2 tires, hoping to keep it up there in the top 20 at least. Currently they're running awfully better than that, though. A little bit loose, and there's a battle for second, Bill.
Jeff Gordon looking under Clint Boyer for the position.
Boyer's hung in there pretty good
sure
on those 2 tires. He's been running good lap times. Matt Kenseth has not really driven away from him, so, but 24 Allen got those 4 tires.
Yeah, he did, Bill. And Crew Chief Steve Wally, sorry. Crew Chief Steve Letarte told me earlier that one way or another they were going to get a top 5 finish today. They had the strategy taken out of their hands by there being so many laps left in the race when that caution came out, so they put it in their driver's hands. He's taken them up now to second place. He's knocked a second and a half, actually almost 2 seconds off the advantage Matt Kenseth had on him 10 laps ago. 13 laps left. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, we'll take a look at that, Marty. Alan, I'm sorry.
Touche, my friend.
Now we got to work something in here. I want to remind everybody that our partner Benny Parsons not with us today. This is for position. This is Earnhardt trying to get 7th away from Greg Biffle.
I think Biffle pretty much gave it to him on that one. He pulled over and let Earnhardt have it.
Update for, on the 8 from pit road.
And Bill, this is working for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. wanted to take 2 for track position on the last stop. Crew chief Tony Uri Jr. said, let's take 4, and I think you can beat some of these guys. And he's driven from that restart in 13th all the way to where he is now.
Thanks, Dave. We know Benny's watching. Benny couldn't be with us today, but one of his responsibilities, cueing the duck. So, truck, cue the duck, please. Almost forgot about it. Our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last driver to win both Michigan races in the same season? Come on, Wally, take a stab at it.
Is it the Yates driver?
I don't think so.
No. Then I don't know.
Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte.
Back in 1995. 3-time winner here.
Aflac.
Our Aflac trivia question. Hopefully BP be back with us soon and he can go back to cueing the duck so we don't have to wait till 11 to go because I forgot all about it. So now the thing to watch is see if Gordon can close in on Kenseth. Right here, Hamlin racing for a position. Last time at the line, it was 1.8 seconds. There's Matt. There's Gordon.
Well, let's see what it looks like this time across the line. Jeff Gordon that time was, I mean, just a tick slower than Matt Kenseth.
How about the leader, Marty?
Well, Bill, isn't this interesting? This seems to be a replay of Chicago, isn't it? Matt Kenseth out front in the same exact race car. Jeff Gordon a little faster behind him, catching him. They radioed to him, said the 24 is coming. Matt said, I know he's coming. They said, maybe you want to move up half a lane in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Seems like 24's running a little bit higher than you are there. When they radioed that to Matt, he said, I've been taking care of my tires. I'm going to go use them now. Hopefully we can keep this car in front of the 24. Alan?
Jeff Gordon just came on his radio after saying nothing for about the last 20 laps and said, guys, I'm not sure if I can catch him or not. Steve Letarte jumped right back, gave him lap times, told him he's faster than Kenseth. You know Jeff Gordon doesn't have any give up in him, right?
That's right, and he picked up 4 tenths. 4 tenths faster that last lap. So he's a second and a half behind. And just one news item you'll be reading about in the coming days. There is a huge test tomorrow here at Michigan with the car of tomorrow. About a dozen or 14 teams. And NASCAR's looking forward to that. And Vice President for Competition Robin Pemberton told me in the garage this weekend that they are looking at a way of perhaps modifying the stoplight coming on to pit road that indicates whether the pits are open or closed, coming off the Kurt Busch incident last week at Watkins Glen. Nothing has been done, but basically what Robin said, we want to make it better for the competitors and we want less headaches for ourselves. So they're going to try and look at that. There have been several options kicked around in the garage area since Watkins Glen, including perhaps adding a yellow light before the red light comes on or moving the line. But anyway, NASCAR wants to look at that.
I think that light is hard to see. I mean, although it doesn't look like it from where we sit and everybody else sees it, but sometimes it's really hard to see when it's up that high. And when you're a driver, you're coming down pit lane, you know, you're really trying to focus on, you're looking for your pits. So I think that light needs to be a little bit lower.
Matt Kenseth continues to lead. Gordon still second. Then it's Boyer, Stewart, and Casey Kane. Carl Edwards, Allen has dropped all the way back to 23rd.
Yeah, Bill, and he restarted 7th with 37 to go. I know this race for the lead's good. We just want to not let the story of Carl go before we tell you this. Just after that restart, he bounced off of someone or something. Never said what. Just called in on the radio, said he had damaged the fender on his car, and he's been done since then, sliding backwards.
And if you weren't with us for the Bank of America countdown to green, NASCAR very unhappy with the way Carl behaved after the race here yesterday, making a run at Earnhardt's car after the race was over, then going to victory lane to discuss the incident with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Penalties and/or fines could come tomorrow or Tuesday.
Well, I'll tell you what, where Jeff Gordon's running right now, it shoots him up to, what, 6th?
Yes.
In the point standing. So this is a pretty good day for those guys. I said earlier, they thought they had a really good race car for this race today, and so kind of car slow coming off of turn 2. It's Martin Truex.
5 to go.
Yep. front is flat.
If he can get to the apron and slow down and keep that tire together, we should be able to stay under green.
Pick up on the rear bumper.
The left rear is flat as well. He's got a big old wheel mark in the side of the car.
So Truex tries to nurse it back to pit road. There's the race leader, Matt Kenseth. This is the 28th Cup race for Jeff Gordon here at Michigan. He's heading for his 15th top 5 finish. This is a strong run for them because, you know, this is the type of track they have struggled on, as Jeff talked about earlier in the race. When you were talking about the championship standings, Jeff Burton came in 4th. He has fallen to 9th.
Wow. Earnhardt Jr. now runs in the 7th position. Now, Reed Sorensen is in 9th right now.
Marty on race leader Matt Kenseth.
Bill, I was going to ask Wally, you ever have a favorite race car, Wally?
Yeah.
You just love?
Yep.
Well, this is Matt Kenseth's favorite race car. And when it was wrecked after Chicago, when Jeff Gordon got into him, they literally spent a month getting the car ready for this race. It took a whole new body, a new front clip, a new rear clip. It's been to the wind tunnel twice. It's been on the chassis dyno 3 times. Give credit to the 17 bunch for spending all the time getting this car ready. Clearly, they got it fixed. It's just as good as it was before. It has 1 win and 2 seconds, looking for its 2nd win this year. Alan?
But Jeff Gordon came into this race 9th in the championship, very much on the bubble for making the chase for the Nextel Cup. He said entering this weekend, we've been putting up a pretty good fight, but that fight has been for 12th to 15th place finishes. We need to make that fight for top 5 finishes. I'm hoping we can step it up and turn things around here. Well, his team has done that so far today. If things hold as they are now, Gordon with a top 5 and some much-needed points heading down the road to Richmond.
Thanks, Alan. 2 to go. Clint Boyer off the pace.
Yeah, a lot of smoke coming from that car. He was in the 3rd position with just a couple laps to go. What a bummer. And he's going to the garage. I wonder if they have an engine problem in that car as well. Teammate did.
Yep, Jeff Burton, 42nd today. That's 5th place up there. Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth
Flag this time, white flag.
takes the
Clear
white
back
flag last lap at Michigan. Gordon is close to within 0.8 of a second. Does look a little like Chicago, doesn't it?
I don't think you're going to have the same outcome as in Chicago, though.
Clear by 10.
This is a strong performance for Matt Kenseth and that Robbie Reiser-led team. 2nd in the championship standings right now, just 58 points behind Jimmy Johnson. Matt started working on cars when he was 13 along with his dad. Started racing at 16. Already has one Nextel Cup championship, trying to get another, trying to make the chase for the championship. Matt Kenseth wins at Michigan.
Good job, guys. I thought I was going to blow it again. I was getting so tight. Good job.
Stewart 3rd.
Oh, look at the race. Oh, Mark Martin, I think, just beat Earnhardt to the line for 5th.
Every point, baby.
Hey.
Every point.
Got it.
Elliott Sadler 10th. Momentum.
Yeah, that's a great start.
So Kane is 4th. Sadler is 10th. And Scott Riggs 14th. All 3 Evernham cars with a top 15 finish. Here's Marty.
Well, what a day for the 17 crew. They were 1 lap from having to make a green flag pit stop in the middle of this race. We're getting some congratulations. All that work that went into this car over the last month paid off, didn't it, Rob?
Well, it says a lot for the guys that work back at the shop and build the engines and build the cars. I mean, to have a car get wrecked that bad and bring it back your first time back and run as well as we did, it says a lot for everybody that works in these race cars and this race team.
We having flashbacks to Chicago when the 24 was catching you?
Well, I think Matt was probably having flashbacks, and he was probably, he was saving that car for the end. I think, we were waiting for that green-white checker that always seems to come out mysteriously. So, great job to Matt and everybody here.
No overtime today. Matt Kenseth wins in Michigan.
This car was so bad here on Friday when they were lined up for qualifying and the weather was gloomy. His guys were doing a rain dance on pit road, hoping qualifying would get rained out so we'd have a good qualifying spot. Then Matt went out and qualified third and won the race. And we've talked about it before, but that's an extremely close-knit team. And it's not just the 7 guys over the wall or the guys here at the racetrack. It's the entire organization. It's Katie, his wife. And you hear the fans cheering for Matt Kenseth. You know his dad Roy, mom Nikki are watching. I'll tell you, you get into the chase, you're going to have to beat him. Post-race interviews. Let's start with Dave.
And Jeff Gordon chasing down Matt Kenseth there at the end. Jeff, suffice it to say, this was the good day you guys needed.
It certainly was. What a great fight, and some great adjustments there in that last pit stop. We were up there battling with Edwards, having a lot of fun, and we just were out of sync. And unfortunately, the caution came at the wrong time, which has been happening to us a lot lately. But what a rebound by this race team. I mean, they've been just putting up such a great fight all year long, and I just couldn't be more proud of Steve and all the guys. I told them what the car was doing. We were struggling in traffic, and they tuned this DuPont Chevrolet right up, and we just drove to the front. I wish we had a few more laps. I was catching Matt, and
how many more, Jeff?
Maybe 3 more. We would have got to his bumper. I don't know if we could have gotten by him, but I would like to show him and everybody else I know how to pass him clean. But hey, congratulations to him. He drove a great race, and I couldn't be more proud of this team on this day with this second place finish. And that was a good point stay for us.
It was unofficially from 9th to 6th, Marty.
Dave, from 33rd to 3rd for Tony Stewart, and what an impressive run considering where this day started for these guys. How did you work your way through all that traffic, Tony?
I did my job.
You did a good job then.
That's what the Home Depot and the Home Depot racing team expects of me. I mean, we just, Zippy and all these guys did an awesome job today. We had a really tight car at the beginning and just kept working with it and kept making adjustments, and we just battled our way through. So, the pit strategy at the beginning of the race really separated a bunch of people, kind of got 2 different groups going, and that kind of helped us get up there too. It wasn't like we had to just passed 33 cars on the racetrack, so that helped a lot.
And in terms of the championship, too, another solid day for the 20 team. Matt?
And back in the garage, Marty, Jimmy Johnson, you're looking over your car. Looks more like it went to Martinsville than a day at Michigan. But what a rebound for you and this team.
It is. These guys, I think every week, not only impress myself and Hendrick Motorsports, these guys just never stop. It's truly amazing. And I really felt like we were in for a top 5 once we got everything back and going. But unfortunately, there at the end, I got way too loose and I just lost a lot of spots for those Monte Carlo. But still a good day. I hate that deal at the beginning. The 31 was inside of me, and something with him kind of wiggling and coming up behind me dramatically. I changed the airflow on my car, and it just made my car tight and shot me straight at the wall, and I got in the wall early. So just kind of one of those days, but we bounced back and finished well.
Finishes 12th or 13th, unofficially still has a 58-point lead in the championship standings. Alan?
In victory lane, where Matt Kenseth is about to exit his very hot race car. And just so we set the record straight, here's a guy drove a 400-mile race all day, perfectly fine, and he scratched himself taking his helmet off. Congratulations on your 3rd win of the year. When Jeff Gordon was closing on you in those last 20 laps, what were you thinking?
I was hoping he didn't catch me. I did have flashbacks to Chicago and even Las Vegas, where Jimmy beat me at then. So I just we were a little too tight that run. I just tried to really back up the corner and not use up the front tires. Vegas, I ran the front tires off, and I really did at Bristol too. And Chicago, we were too tight. So I just decided to go slow and begin the run and save what I could for the end. And thankfully, we had just enough.
When you came down pit road, when you stayed on the racetrack, rather, at lap 131, and everybody else came down pit road, did you think your chance to win was done?
I didn't know. I knew everybody had to pit one more time, and earlier in the race, everybody was on old tires, and that was actually our fastest run, like on 10-lap tires. So I gave Robbie so much crap all week for our pit strategy at Watkins Glen. I'm glad it worked out today. He did a great job of, after we ran a few laps, we went out there, if not pitting the next lap, but just sticking with it and saying, no, we're only going to pit one more time. So he did a great job. And real quick, I got to thank DeWalt and Ford Fusion, USG Sheetrock, R&L Carriers, Carhartt, and G Silicone. And we just got great partners on this car. I'm just so proud to be part of this team.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Matt Kenseth wins today at Michigan. Marty?
Helen Dillon Jr. finishes 6th, and walk me through the middle part of that race after that pit stop.
Well, we were really good at the start. One of the best cars, I thought. We led a lot of laps, which was a lot of fun. Good to run like that on a track like this in front of these fans, so in front of the Chevy crowd. So we made a mistake on pit road. I don't really know what it is or what happened, but it cost us a lot of points, and we came out 20th or something like that. It's tough for me to rebound after that. We tried, but we got up to 6th or 7th or whatever.
I know you had fun battling with Mark Martin as well at the end.
Mark's a legend. I got the utmost respect for him. Watched him and my daddy run a lot of races together, and when I can be on the racetrack with him and trying to catch him at the end for a position, that's a great scenario for a guy like myself. Just watched him race for so many years.
He's praising you over here, Mark, about that fun battle to the end.
Yeah, about 3 more feet, 1 more lap.
Who was going to get it?
I don't like running high, but I knew if I wanted to stay in front of him, I was going to have to make him pass on the bottom. So I was going to force him to the bottom.
That's as much fun as anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Mark's a great driver and one of the best the sport's ever seen. And whenever you can get on the track and race with him, it's something you should always cherish and remember. And I don't get to do it often, but it's a lot of fun. It's something it's a lot of fun.
There's only 200 laps, a handshake there at the end. Mark Martin finishes 5th, Dale Jr. 6th. Dave?
Casey Kane finishes 4th after starting 15th. You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm real happy. It's nice. I won't have to watch TV this week and watch myself screw up on the final lap. So it's a good thing. Our Dodge dealers, UAW Dodge Charter race team did a great job all day in the pits, and we just couldn't get that little bit we needed. But we were right 4th, 5th, 6th all day long, and I'm pretty happy to be there. Happy that we gained some points and looking good for these next 3 races.
And talk about the fact that Evernham Motorsports, all 3 in the top 15, and the 19 car running very well.
And they did a good job, for Elliott to come in his first week and those guys to step up. Scott Riggs had a good race. I know he was a lap down at one point and fought back. So just a good job for everybody. We were fighting hard. Hopefully it'll keep going this way the rest of the year.
Still in 11th, but inching his way toward the chase. Matt?
Carl Edwards back here in his car. It looks like he had one final adjustment on the side of your car. You're joking around, and obviously that wasn't the right one.
Yeah, it's not really that funny, but I did adjust it there on the wall. It was, but it tightened it up a little too much, so this made him a misjudgment there. We had a great car all day, Office Depot, and all my guys did a great job, but I had fun right up until that, but heck, we'll just go on, man. We'll keep our heads up. Worst thing we can do right now is get down, but it's just another one of those days, man. And my guys are great, though. Everybody did a good job.
Carl Edwards, 22nd here at MIS.
Thanks, guys. Good job down there. 2nd Michigan victory for Matt Kenseth, his 3rd win of 2006 to go along with California and Dover. Matt Kenseth, the winner today here at Michigan. Here are the championship standings with 3 races before the cutoff. Jimmy Johnson did not lock himself in today. He'll probably do that next weekend, depending what happens at Bristol. Matt Kenseth, 58 back. The big number here, 4th place. Mark Martin is only 138 points ahead of 11th place Casey Kane. And again, all the results and the point standings become official when NASCAR releases that information on Monday. This all unofficial, but this is pretty darn accurate.
Yeah, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch didn't really help themselves today too much. They just made it a whole lot tougher to get in this chase.
Yeah, so Casey Kane and Biff will have a shot, but
right.
Edwards...
Yeah, they really don't.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough next week because you know where we are next week?
We are in Bristol.
NASCAR, Bristol. Next week, that's all you need to know. It all starts with Friday. It's Nextel Cup final practice at 7 Eastern, followed by the NASCAR Busch Series in action at Bristol. Then Saturday, we're back under the lights. It's the Sharpie 500 as the race to the chase continues on TNT. Our coverage Saturday night begins at 7 o'clock Eastern with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Next on TNT, don't miss Signs on the East Coast, and on the West Coast, A Few Good Men. Our best get well wishes to Benny Parsons, and congratulations to Matt Kenseth, the winner at Michigan. Matt Kenseth Kenseth wins at Michigan. This is a strong performance for Matt Kenseth and that Robbie Reiser-led team.